Have you ever wondered why some people seem calm and unshakable, no matter what life throws at them? Why is it that a few individuals can inspire and lead without ever raising their voices? Is there a secret to becoming powerful without making it obvious? Take a moment and think about your own life. Have you ever felt like you're putting in so much effort, but the results just don't match up? Or maybe you've seen someone who quietly achieves more than others, and you've wondered, what makes them so different? Let's imagine a simple scene. Two people are filling buckets with water. One rushes, spilling more than they save, while the other works calmly, losing nothing. By the end, it's the calm, focused person who has the full bucket. This quiet strength is what we're exploring today. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. If you've ever wanted to uncover the habits that can make you truly powerful from within, you're in the right place. This video will introduce you to 10 transformative habits inspired by Buddhist teachings. Habits that don't scream for attention, but silently make you unshakable and effective. Before we dive deeper, let's take a quick moment to address something important. Did you know there are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe? It's surprising, isn't it? If you enjoy content like this, please take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more wisdom and value to your life. Now, let's get into why silent power matters so much. The world today often celebrates loudness and aggression, but true power doesn't need to shout. Buddhist teachings show us that strength comes from within, through awareness, patience, and consistent action. These habits don't just transform your mind, they shape your entire life. When you embrace these habits, you become grounded. Problems don't feel as overwhelming. Decisions become clearer. And the best part? People naturally notice and respect your presence, even when you're not seeking their attention. This is the beginning of a journey toward a more meaningful and impactful life. Let's uncover the first of these habits in the next part. Mindful beginnings, the habit of awareness. To begin, let us sit in silence. Feel your breath. Notice the quiet space around you. The world is filled with noise, but within you is a calm that you can always return to. In this stillness, we find our first powerful habit, the habit of awareness. Awareness is not simply the act of seeing or hearing. It is the ability to truly experience the present moment. It is the quiet understanding that everything around you is part of a greater whole. This habit, though simple, is the foundation for all other habits of power. When you are truly aware, you begin to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be, or as you fear them to be. You see the truth in the present moment, without judgment or distraction. Let us reflect for a moment. How often do you find yourself lost in thoughts about the past or the future? You may be physically present, but your mind wanders, thinking about what has been or what might come. This is the mind's habit of escaping the now, and it drains your energy and focus. True power comes when you break free from this cycle, and awareness helps you do that. When you cultivate awareness, you begin to notice the subtle shifts in your mood, the small changes in your environment, and the quiet wisdom that arises from being present. This mindfulness, which is deeply rooted in Buddhist practice, teaches us that true peace can only be found in the here and now. The past is gone, the future is yet to come. All that is real is this very moment. In Buddhism, we speak of mindfulness as a way of being. It is not something you do occasionally, like a task you check off. Mindfulness is a way of living. It is the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you listen. It's how you eat your meals, how you interact with others, and how you breathe. Think about it for a moment. When you eat, do you savor the taste of your food? Do you feel the textures, the warmth, the nourishment it provides? Or do you eat in a rush, thinking of the next task, the next meeting, the next thing to do? When you eat mindfully, you experience your food fully. You are present with the flavors, the smells, the textures, and this simple act becomes an act of power. It grounds you in the present and connects you with your body and your surroundings. This is just one example, but mindfulness can be applied to everything. It changes the way you move through the world. When you are aware of each step you take, each word you speak, each thought you think, you are living in alignment with your true self. This is the beginning of silent power. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to seek attention. The quiet strength that comes from awareness is felt by others, and it changes the way you relate to the world. One of the greatest challenges in our modern lives is the constant pull of distractions. We are bombarded by notifications, messages, emails, and calls, all competing for our attention. It's easy to get lost in this noise, but awareness helps us navigate these distractions. It teaches us to focus on what matters, to ignore the noise that doesn't serve us, and to be present with the task at hand. In Buddhist teachings, we often talk about the importance of focus. The mind is like a wild elephant, easily distracted and pulled in many directions. But through mindfulness and awareness, we tame that wild elephant. We bring our attention back to the present moment again and again, with patience and compassion for ourselves. This habit of awareness is not about perfection. It is not about always being perfectly present. It is about making a commitment to return to the present moment over and over again, no matter how many times your mind wanders. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. And soon, you begin to notice that your life flows with more clarity, more calm, and more strength. Through awareness, we also begin to see the impermanence of life. Every moment is fleeting, and when we are aware, we realize how precious each moment is. We learn not to waste time on things that don't matter, and we become more intentional with how we spend our time and energy. Let me share with you a simple but profound lesson from the teachings of the Buddha. He often spoke of the importance of being fully present. He said, "When you walk, just walk. When you sit, just sit. Don't wobble." What he meant was that when you are doing something, truly do it. Don't divide your attention. Don't let your mind wander. Be fully immersed in the action you are taking. This is the essence of mindfulness. When we bring this habit of awareness into our daily lives, everything changes. We no longer rush through tasks, but approach them with care and intention. We no longer take our relationships for granted, but engage with others deeply and fully. We no longer waste time on distractions, but focus on what truly matters. At work, this awareness helps you become more effective. When you are fully present in a meeting, for example, you are able to listen better, understand others more clearly, and respond thoughtfully. You become a person others turn to for clarity and wisdom. Your silent power comes not from speaking the most or having the loudest voice, but from being present and aware in every moment. At home, this awareness transforms your relationships. When you are present with your loved ones, when you listen with your full attention, you create deeper connections. People feel seen, heard, and valued. This is power. It is the power of being fully engaged in the moment, without distractions, without judgment, without rushing to the next thing. In Buddhist practice, this awareness extends to all areas of life. Even in moments of pain, suffering, or difficulty, awareness helps us see things as they are. We don't deny our feelings, but we don't let them control us either. We observe them, accept them, and let them pass. This ability to remain present and grounded, even in challenging times, is one of the greatest sources of silent power. To practice awareness, start with something simple. Begin by sitting in a quiet space, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Notice the sensations in your body as you breathe. Notice the thoughts that come and go, but don't follow them. Just observe. Let them pass. This is the beginning of mindfulness. Over time, you can extend this awareness to all parts of your life. Be mindful while eating, walking, working, talking, and even resting. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you'll find that you carry this sense of calm and presence with you throughout your day. The habit of awareness teaches us that power does not come from doing more or achieving more. It comes from being fully present with whatever we are doing. It comes from being aware of the moment, the task, and ourselves. In this awareness, we find strength, we find peace, and we find the power that is quietly waiting inside us, ready to be awakened. Let us conclude this part with a simple reminder. The power of awareness is always available to you. It is within you, waiting for you to return to it. With practice, it becomes your natural state. And when it does, you will notice that the world around you changes. You begin to walk with more grace, speak with more clarity, and live with more intention. This is the power of mindfulness. It is the habit that makes you strong, silently and effortlessly. Next, we will explore another habit that will strengthen this foundation and take you even deeper on the path to silent power. Stay with us as we continue this journey. The art of detachment, letting go for inner strength. In life, we are often told to hold on, to fight for what we want, to cling to our desires and our opinions. We are taught that the more we attach ourselves to things, the more we will achieve, the stronger we will become. But the truth is quite the opposite. The more we attach ourselves to outcomes, to possessions, or even to people, the more we bind ourselves to suffering. Have you ever felt anxious when things don't go as planned? Or felt frustrated when someone doesn't behave the way you expect them to? This is the grip of attachment. It pulls us in many directions and clouds our mind. True power, however, lies in detachment. Now, when I say detachment, I don't mean abandoning everything or becoming indifferent to life. No, what I mean is to let go of the need to control everything, to free yourself from the constant pull of desires and expectations. Detachment is about understanding that life flows like a river, and we are not here to dam it, but to move with it. Let me explain this with a simple example. Imagine a leaf floating on a river. It has no control over the water's direction. It moves along with the current, free from resistance. In the same way, when we detach from rigid outcomes and stop forcing things, we can move through life with greater ease. Our actions become more intentional, and we are more at peace with whatever happens. In Buddhism, detachment is not seen as a weakness, but as a profound strength. It is the wisdom to understand that we cannot control everything. When we are too attached to something, we bind ourselves to the very thing that causes our suffering. Let go, and you free yourself. But this freedom is not about running away or rejecting what comes your way. It's about embracing life as it is, without attachment to how it should be. Consider a simple situation in your life. Perhaps you have a job, a relationship, or a goal you are working towards. How often do you feel anxious about the results? How often do you worry about what others think, or fear that you might not reach your desired outcome? This attachment to results only causes stress and disappointment. You work hard, yes, but the peace you seek is not in the results. It is in the process. When you practice detachment, you free yourself from this constant cycle of striving and worrying. You can give your best without becoming anxious about the outcome. And here's the secret. The less attached you are to the result, the more you will enjoy the journey. You will find joy in the present moment, and that is where true power lies. This practice of detachment allows us to navigate challenges with calm and clarity. It is like a tree bending in the wind. Instead of breaking under the pressure, the tree does not resist the wind. It bends and moves with it, and when the wind passes, it stands tall again. Detachment also helps us understand the impermanent nature of life. In Buddhism, we learn that everything is temporary. Our emotions, our possessions, our relationships. Attachment leads to suffering because we desire permanence in a world that is constantly changing. If we hold on to something that is not meant to last, we set ourselves up for disappointment. When you practice detachment, you start to understand that nothing in life is permanent. This doesn't mean you become cold or indifferent to what you value. Instead, you cultivate an attitude of appreciation for the present moment, knowing that the things you cherish are fleeting. You enjoy them fully while they last, and you accept their passing without resistance. You may wonder, how can I detach from things I care about? The answer is simple but profound. Start by observing your attachments. Pay attention to the moments when you feel anxious or upset. What are you holding on to in that moment? Is it a desire for approval, control, or something else? Recognize it, and then ask yourself if it is truly necessary to hold on. By becoming aware of your attachments, you begin to loosen their grip on your mind. Detachment also involves letting go of negative emotions. We all experience anger, jealousy, or fear. But when we attach ourselves to these emotions, they control us. We become prisoners of our own feelings. Detaching from these emotions doesn't mean ignoring them. It means observing them without judgment. You feel anger? Acknowledge it. You feel fear? Recognize it. But do not let it consume you. Detach from the need to act on those emotions and let them pass like clouds in the sky. This approach to emotions can transform your relationships as well. When you stop holding on to expectations, when you stop needing others to behave in a certain way, you can truly accept them as they are. This doesn't mean you allow people to mistreat you, but it means you are no longer dependent on others for your happiness. You are free to love and care for others without the need for them to be anything other than themselves. Detachment also frees us from the endless cycle of comparison. We live in a world where we are constantly measuring ourselves against others. We look at someone else's success, their possessions, their relationships, and we feel less than. But when we practice detachment, we realize that everyone is on their own journey. There is no need to compare, because we are all unique, with different paths and lessons. In your daily life, practice small acts of detachment. When something doesn't go your way, try not to react immediately. Take a deep breath, observe your emotions, and ask yourself if your response is rooted in attachment. When you find yourself grasping for something, be it a result, a person, or an outcome, let it go, even if only for a moment. Release the need to control and notice how your mind becomes clearer. Remember, detachment is not about giving up or becoming detached from life. It is about becoming more connected to the present moment and letting go of the things that weigh you down. When you detach from the need for control, from attachment to outcomes, you find a deep well of strength within. This is the strength of the Zen master, calm, grounded, and in perfect harmony with life's flow. As you begin to practice detachment, you will find that your life becomes more peaceful. The anxieties that once controlled you will lose their power. You will feel lighter, freer, and more in tune with the world around you. Detachment doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful in the most profound and subtle way. You become like the river, flowing effortlessly, not hindered by obstacles, but moving around them with grace. The power of detachment is the power of peace. It is the ability to remain calm in the face of life's challenges, to hold on to what matters and let go of what doesn't. It is the wisdom to know that you are not defined by your possessions, your achievements, or the opinions of others. You are defined by your ability to remain steady in the ever-changing currents of life. So, let go, free yourself, and discover the power that comes from living without attachment. When you do, you will find that you are not only more peaceful, but more powerful than ever before. The power of compassion, strength and kindness. Compassion, it is one of the most simple, yet profound practices we can cultivate in our lives. But what does it truly mean to be compassionate? In the world today, kindness is often seen as a weakness, something that can be easily taken advantage of. But I will tell you this, true compassion is one of the most powerful forces you can carry within you. It holds within it an inner strength that, when nurtured, can transform not only your own life but the lives of those around you. In Buddhism, compassion is not simply about feeling sorry for someone or offering a hand in times of trouble. Compassion goes beyond these superficial gestures. It is the genuine desire for others to be free from suffering, a deep and unwavering wish for their happiness and well-being. It's about seeing the world not through the lens of your own desires and fears, but through the eyes of another, recognizing their suffering and offering a heart that understands. Imagine this for a moment. You're walking down the street and you see someone struggling. Perhaps they are carrying something heavy, or their face shows signs of distress. Compassion doesn't always require grand actions. It could simply be offering a warm smile, a kind word, or helping them with their load. It's in those small moments that true strength is revealed. Because kindness is not just an action, it is an attitude, a way of being in the world. And the more you practice compassion, the more it becomes a part of you. You may ask, but how does this make me powerful? Doesn't being compassionate make me vulnerable? The truth is, compassion does not make you weak. It gives you power, the power to connect, to heal, and to influence others in a way that cannot be done through force or fear. When you are compassionate, you are not only lifting the other person's burdens, you are also lifting your own. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect. It strengthens your mind and your spirit. It fills your heart with peace. Think about it. How often do you feel drained after spending time with someone who is constantly complaining, angry, or negative? On the other hand, how does it feel to be around someone who radiates kindness, understanding, and care? That person becomes a source of energy, a source of strength. People are naturally drawn to kindness. It creates a sense of trust, of safety. This is a silent power that you carry with you. It's the power to heal, the power to transform, and the power to inspire. Compassion also helps you develop emotional resilience. When you practice kindness, it naturally broadens your capacity for understanding and patience. It allows you to see beyond your own experiences and recognize that all people, at their core, want the same things: love, happiness, and freedom from suffering. When you understand this, it becomes easier to forgive, easier to let go of grudges, and easier to face difficult situations with a calm heart. But there's more to compassion than just an outward expression. True compassion requires inner strength and self-awareness. The Buddha often taught that you cannot truly extend compassion to others unless you first show it to yourself. So often, we are our own harshest critics. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and criticize ourselves for every small mistake. But how can you truly offer compassion to someone else if you cannot offer it to yourself? Self-compassion is the first step in developing a compassionate attitude toward others. It's about treating yourself with the same care, understanding, and forgiveness that you would offer a friend in need. It's about recognizing that, like everyone else, you too are human, and that you too deserve love and care. When you start to practice self-compassion, you become less judgmental, less harsh, and more understanding of your own shortcomings. This, in turn, makes it easier to be compassionate toward others. Now, let's talk about the effects of compassion on your life. Many people seek power in material wealth and status, or in control over others. They believe that these things will bring them happiness and fulfillment. But true power doesn't come from what you possess. It comes from what you give. When you live a life filled with compassion, you are not only strengthening your inner peace, but you are also creating a powerful presence that attracts positivity. People are drawn to your energy. They trust you. They respect you. And this, my friends, is the kind of power that can change the world. You might be wondering, how do I cultivate this kind of compassion? It's simpler than you think. Start by observing your thoughts. Pay attention to how you respond to others, especially when they are in need or distress. Do you feel irritation or judgment? Or do you feel a genuine desire to help, to comfort, to listen? Compassion begins with a willingness to be present with others, without judgment, without agenda. It's simply about offering your presence, your heart, and your care. But it doesn't stop there. Compassion also involves a deep level of empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to understand their pain, their joys, and their struggles. It's about seeing the world from their perspective, not just your own. And when you practice empathy, you naturally begin to feel a sense of connection with others. This connection is what strengthens your ability to offer compassion. It's what makes you an anchor for others when they feel lost or overwhelmed. Another way to develop compassion is by practicing mindfulness. When you are mindful, you are fully present in the moment, aware of the world around you, and attuned to the needs of those around you. You listen without judgment, respond without rushing, and act with kindness. This deep awareness allows you to see others with clarity and understanding. It helps you to connect with them on a deeper level, offering not just help, but the comfort of knowing they are not alone. You may also want to practice loving kindness meditation. In this practice, you focus on sending love and well wishes to others. First to those you love, then to neutral people, and finally to those you may find difficult. By cultivating loving kindness, you are strengthening your ability to empathize with others and to offer compassion from a place of genuine care. One of the most beautiful aspects of compassion is that it never runs out. The more you give, the more you receive. And this is where the true power lies. Compassion feeds your spirit. It nourishes your soul. It connects you to the people around you in ways that words cannot. It builds bridges, strengthens communities, and heals wounds. When you cultivate compassion, you become a force of nature, a quiet power that influences the world without force, without fear. This silent strength is something that will remain with you forever. It will carry you through the toughest times, and it will lift you when you fall. It will be a constant reminder that you are not just an individual, but a part of a greater whole. It is the power to make a difference, to change lives, and to create peace. And this, my friends, is the power of compassion. Strong, silent, and transformative. As you continue to grow and develop compassion in your life, remember that you are not just transforming yourself, you are transforming the world around you. Each act of kindness, each moment of empathy, each gesture of love adds to the collective power of compassion in this world. You are contributing to something much larger than yourself, and in doing so, you become a silent force of transformation, a beacon of strength that others can lean on and learn from. In the next part, we will explore how the habit of discipline contributes to your silent strength, and how mastering yourself can lead to freedom. Stay with us on this journey as we continue to uncover the habits that make you powerful. Discipline is freedom, mastering yourself. To truly understand discipline, we must first release any thoughts of it as something restrictive or controlling. In its simplest form, discipline is not about rules imposed from the outside. It is the quiet strength of knowing when to act, when to pause, and when to stay calm. Discipline is a tool that gives you the freedom to choose, not the chains that bind you. It is the path that leads you to clarity, helping you become your true, unshakable self. Think about this. A skilled archer doesn't aim at the target without knowing where they stand, without considering their surroundings, or without practicing every single day. Their strength is not in the arrow alone, but in their ability to discipline their movements and focus their mind. This same discipline is what transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary ones. When you master your own habits, thoughts, and actions, you unlock a power that no external force can disrupt. In Buddhist teachings, we are reminded that true freedom comes from self-mastery. The mind is a powerful tool, but if it is not disciplined, it can lead us down paths of confusion, anger, and distraction. Imagine trying to meditate with a mind constantly racing in 100 different directions. The practice of discipline helps you quiet those mental distractions. It brings your mind into the present moment, where real power resides. When we speak of discipline, it's not about harsh control or forcing yourself to act against your nature. True discipline is a form of inner agreement. It is the ability to say no to the things that distract you and yes to the things that bring you closer to your purpose. This is where freedom begins. Freedom from the chaos of a mind that does not know where to rest. Consider the way a river flows. It does not fight against its banks. Instead, it follows the path it is meant to take, carving its way gently through the landscape. Discipline is much like the river's path. It is not about rigidly forcing yourself to act in one way, but about allowing yourself to follow the course that feels right. It is about knowing when to take action and when to simply be still. Discipline is the art of balance. Many people fear discipline because they associate it with hard work, struggle, and sacrifice. But in truth, discipline leads to ease. It allows you to move through life with grace, to respond rather than react, and to make choices that align with your true values. In Buddhism, this idea is referred to as right action, acting in a way that is in harmony with your nature, your purpose, and the world around you. This is not a discipline of restriction, but one of alignment. When you align your actions with your values, you are free. When you align your thoughts with your true nature, you are free. Discipline gives you the space to live your life fully, without fear, without hesitation, and without confusion. The practice of discipline also teaches patience. It is easy to become impatient with ourselves, especially when we are not seeing immediate results. But discipline is a long-term investment in your personal growth. It requires patience to stay the course, even when progress seems slow. But each day, each moment of discipline adds up. Over time, you will begin to see the fruit of your efforts. Another key aspect of discipline is the ability to say no. No to distractions, no to the things that take you off your path, no to the habits that drain your energy. Saying no is not a rejection of the world, but a way of saying yes to what truly matters. It is about focusing your energy on the things that will help you grow, rather than scattering your energy in 100 different directions. The Zen teachings often speak of the importance of living simply and with intention. Discipline helps you simplify your life by helping you focus on what truly matters. It is easy to become overwhelmed by the noise of the world, but discipline provides clarity. It allows you to say no to what is unnecessary and yes to what aligns with your true purpose. It is important to understand that discipline is not about perfection. It is not about always making the right choices or never slipping up. It is about returning to your path each time you stray. Every time you practice discipline, you strengthen your ability to focus, to choose wisely, and to align your actions with your values. In Buddhism, there is a practice called right mindfulness, the ability to be fully aware of your thoughts, words, and actions. Discipline is an extension of this mindfulness. When you are disciplined, you are fully present in your actions, whether it is in meditation, work, or even everyday tasks. This presence brings you closer to your true self and allows you to move through the world with purpose. Discipline also involves the art of self-compassion. It is easy to be hard on yourself when you don't meet your own expectations. But true discipline includes the ability to forgive yourself, to accept that mistakes are part of the journey. Self-compassion allows you to move forward without guilt, without shame, and with the understanding that you are always learning and growing. Every time you act with discipline, you strengthen your sense of purpose. You become more aware of what you want and why you want it. The more disciplined you are, the clearer your path becomes, and the more power you have to shape your life. This is the freedom that discipline offers, the freedom to live a life that aligns with your highest values. In the Zen tradition, the practice of discipline is also linked to the concept of non-attachment. By practicing discipline, you learn to let go of your attachment to outcomes. You act not for recognition or reward, but because it is the right thing to do. This form of discipline is free from the ego's need for validation and recognition. It is purely about following the path of wisdom and truth. As you begin to practice discipline in your life, you will notice a shift. You will feel more centered, more focused, and more in control of your actions. You will find that the external world has less power over you because you have cultivated a strong inner foundation. This inner strength is what makes you truly powerful. Discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but with greater intention. It's about quieting the noise so that you can focus on what truly matters. When you master yourself, when you learn to discipline your mind and your actions, you step into a power that is silent yet undeniable. You do not need to compete with others, because you are no longer trying to prove anything. You do not need to shout to be heard, because your presence is enough. Discipline gives you the power to act with clarity, to move through life with ease, and to achieve your goals without stress or overwhelm. The true power of discipline is that it frees you from the endless cycle of striving and struggling. It allows you to move through life with purpose, with peace, and with strength. Discipline is not a burden. It is the key that unlocks your true potential. In the end, discipline is not just about control. It is about freedom. The freedom to be yourself, the freedom to act with intention, and the freedom to live a life that aligns with your true values. When you practice discipline, you create the space for your inner power to emerge. And in that space, you find the freedom to live your life fully, without fear, without hesitation, and with complete confidence in who you are. The habit of patience, strength and stillness. Patience is not just the act of waiting. It is the practice of staying present, grounded, and calm, regardless of what is happening around you. In Buddhism, patience is seen as a powerful force, a foundation of inner peace, and a key to wisdom. It is the ability to endure life's difficulties without being swept away by frustration, anger, or impulsive reactions. Patience is not a passive waiting but an active practice that shapes who you are and how you respond to the world. Imagine yourself standing on the shore of an ocean. Waves crash relentlessly against the rocks, yet you stand still, unmoved. The ocean does not stop its waves, but you, with your steady presence, remain unaffected. This is patience. It's not about controlling the external world, but learning to control your inner world. It's about accepting life's rhythms, both calm and turbulent, with the same composed mind. When we practice patience, we allow things to unfold in their own time. It is easy to rush through life, hoping to force situations to work in our favor, but true power lies in waiting without anxiety. Buddha taught that impatience is a form of suffering. The more we resist, the more we struggle. But when we accept the flow of life, we find peace in the midst of chaos. Consider a seed. It grows not by being hurried, but by patiently waiting for the right conditions. The soil, the sunlight, the water, everything works together in harmony, without any force. The seed simply remains in the ground, patiently doing its part. In the same way, patience allows us to grow into the best version of ourselves, not by rushing, but by nurturing ourselves gently through each moment. One of the most common areas where impatience can surface is in our relationships. When we expect immediate results from others, we often end up disappointed. Patience teaches us to give others space to be themselves, without judgment. It helps us listen deeply, without rushing to fix or solve. We learn to value the process of connection rather than forcing it to happen on our own timeline. Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger." This reflects how impatience and frustration can often hurt us more than the situation itself. When we're patient, we remove the emotional turbulence that clouds our judgment. Our responses become clearer, and we find ourselves making better decisions. In the modern world, where everything seems fast-paced and immediate, patience is a rare yet powerful trait. Think about how easy it is to be swept up by the need for instant results. Checking our phones every few minutes, wanting things to happen right away. But this only leads to stress. Real strength comes when we can pause, breathe, and trust that things will unfold in their own time. There's a profound wisdom in learning to be still in the face of life's challenges. The next time something doesn't go according to plan, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? Patience isn't about waiting for things to be perfect. It's about being present, accepting, and allowing things to evolve naturally. When we give ourselves and others the grace of patience, we open the door to deeper understanding and more meaningful growth. Patience also teaches us to embrace discomfort. The desire to escape hardship is natural, but true strength lies in remaining present even when things are difficult. A storm may be raging around you, but if you stand firm, you will find peace in the midst of it. Patience reminds us that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. By enduring calmly, we develop a resilience that no external circumstance can break. In our busy lives, it is easy to forget that we are not machines designed to produce results on demand. We are human beings, and part of being human is accepting our limitations. Patience helps us honor our own pace and recognize that growth takes time. Just as a tree doesn't grow overnight, neither do our skills, wisdom, or strength. The patience to keep moving forward, one step at a time, is what makes us truly powerful. In Buddhist practice, meditation is often used as a tool to cultivate patience. When you sit quietly, focusing on your breath, you are learning to be patient with your own thoughts and emotions. The moment your mind wanders, instead of reacting with frustration, you simply notice it and return to your breath. This gentle acceptance of what is, without judgment, trains you to stay patient with yourself and the world around you. Over time, this practice builds a deep reservoir of patience that can sustain you through any difficulty. Patience is not just about enduring the difficult times. It's also about finding joy in the quiet moments. In our culture, we are often taught to seek excitement and constant stimulation. But true contentment comes from appreciating the present moment, no matter how simple it may seem. A moment of stillness, a breath, a pause. These are the moments where patience reveals its true power. Sometimes, patience means knowing when to act and when to wait. It doesn't mean inactivity, but rather understanding the right time to respond. In martial arts, there is a concept called waiting for the right moment to strike. It is not about reacting immediately to every situation, but about choosing the right moment for action. Patience teaches us the wisdom of timing, so that when we do act, our actions are powerful and effective. When we practice patience, we also develop the ability to forgive. Holding on to anger or resentment is a sign of impatience. We expect others to meet our expectations, and when they don't, we react with frustration. But patience allows us to let go of these expectations and accept people as they are. It frees us from the burden of judgment, and in doing so, we lighten our hearts. In moments of difficulty, patience also helps us gain perspective. When faced with a challenge, it's easy to get caught up in the immediate emotions. But if we step back and take a deep breath, we can see the bigger picture. Patience allows us to pause long enough to gain clarity. It allows us to recognize that challenges are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth. The strength of patience is not always visible to others, but it is felt deeply within. It is a quiet, inner power that can't be rushed. And as you practice this habit, you'll find that it becomes easier to remain calm, focused, and unshaken by life's storms. You'll also find that your relationships, your work, and your inner peace improve in ways that are not immediately apparent but are deeply transformative. True patience doesn't just come from a desire to wait. It arises from deep acceptance and trust in the natural flow of life. It is the wisdom to know that all things pass, and in time, we will see the fruits of our efforts. Like the ocean, the mountains, and the stars, patience teaches us that we, too, are part of something greater than ourselves. In the end, patience is a gift you give yourself. It is a habit that strengthens your heart and mind, making you resilient in the face of adversity. And when you can cultivate this patience within, you will find that the world becomes a little more peaceful, a little more kind, and a lot more powerful. This is the power of patience, a quiet force that makes you unshakable, not because you fight the storms, but because you stand calmly through them. It is the silent habit that gives you the strength to endure, to grow, and to live with wisdom. Let this be a reminder that every moment of waiting is an opportunity to cultivate this power within you. Simplicity as a source of power. In the teachings of the Buddha, there is an emphasis on simplicity, not just in what we have, but in how we live. The world is constantly pushing us to acquire more, do more, and be more. Yet, the greatest power comes from letting go of the unnecessary. There is a profound truth in simplicity. When we remove the clutter, both physically and mentally, we create space for true power to emerge. Take a moment and think. How often do you feel overwhelmed by the many things around you? Not just physical objects, but all the thoughts, tasks, and obligations that constantly fill your mind. How much of this is truly necessary? How much of it is a distraction from what really matters? When we choose simplicity, we choose clarity. It's like standing in a quiet room after a storm of noise. The calm that follows brings focus, insight, and a deep sense of peace. Simplicity clears the path, making it easier to see where you need to go and how to get there. It allows us to focus on the things that truly matter and let go of the rest. This doesn't mean we should avoid responsibility or duty. No, it means that we need to cultivate the ability to prioritize, to clear away the noise and get to the essence of what is important. Think of a Zen garden. There are only a few elements, but each one is perfectly placed. The beauty is not in the quantity, but in the quality of the space. Simplicity is also about letting go of our attachment to the way we think things should be. How often do we hold on tightly to expectations, plans, and ideas, only to be disappointed when they don't unfold as we imagined? True simplicity comes from the willingness to release our grip on rigid ideas and allow life to unfold as it is meant to. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a practice called Shoshin, which translates to beginner's mind. This practice encourages us to approach each moment with a sense of openness and curiosity, as if we are encountering it for the first time. In simplicity, there is room for wonder. We stop complicating things with overthinking and instead experience life as it is, free of judgment or expectation. Now, let's look at this from a more practical perspective. Simplifying your life doesn't always mean getting rid of material possessions, though that can be helpful. It can also mean simplifying your schedule, your thoughts, and your emotional responses. If your calendar is packed with commitments, ask yourself, which ones truly serve your growth, your peace, and your purpose? How can you create more space for the things that nourish your soul? On an emotional level, simplifying means letting go of grudges, anger, and resentment. These feelings weigh us down and cloud our ability to see clearly. When we hold on to these emotions, we add layers of complexity to our hearts and minds. But when we let them go, when we forgive, not just others, but ourselves, we free ourselves from unnecessary burdens. Simplicity also plays a powerful role in our relationships. How many times do we complicate things with misunderstandings, expectations, or assumptions? What if instead, we allowed ourselves to just be present with others, without judgment or agenda? By keeping our interactions simple and genuine, we build stronger, more authentic connections. A powerful habit that arises from simplicity is the practice of mindful presence. When we are truly present in the moment, we let go of distractions. We stop thinking about the past, and we stop worrying about the future. All that exists is the present moment. This presence is a profound source of strength. When you are fully in the here and now, you are more grounded, more aware, and more in control of how you respond to the world around you. This presence comes when we eliminate unnecessary mental noise. How often do you allow your thoughts to race from one thing to the next, creating a whirlwind in your mind? True power arises when we stop this mental clutter. When we are still, when we allow our thoughts to slow down, we can hear the quiet voice of wisdom that resides within us. In the practice of simplicity, there is also the power of restraint. In a world full of distractions, restraint is a form of strength. It's easy to follow the crowd, to give in to temptation, to chase after things that promise satisfaction but leave us empty. But true simplicity asks us to restrain our desires and focus on what truly brings us peace and contentment. When we can say no to distractions, we open ourselves up to the fullness of life. Another aspect of simplicity is being content with what we have. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from craving and attachment. We spend so much of our time longing for things we don't have, and this longing creates stress and dissatisfaction. When we learn to be content with what is, we release the constant pressure of desire. We accept the present moment as enough. This contentment is not complacency, but a deep sense of peace that comes from knowing we are whole just as we are. Simplicity also teaches us to live with intention. In every action, we ask, is this necessary? Does this bring me closer to my true purpose? Every small decision we make either brings us closer to peace or further away. By simplifying our actions and our thoughts, we begin to live with greater clarity and purpose. There is a story of a Zen master who lived a very simple life. He wore plain robes, lived in a small hut, and owned very few possessions. Yet, he was known for his wisdom and calm presence. One day, a student asked him, "Master, how can I become like you? How can I gain the peace that you have?" The master smiled and said, "To gain peace, you must first remove the noise from your life. Let go of your attachments, simplify your mind, and the peace will follow." In a world that constantly tells us we need more to be happy, simplicity offers a powerful counterpoint. It shows us that we don't need more things, more achievements, or more possessions. We simply need to let go of what distracts us, and what remains will be enough. By embracing simplicity, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life. We stop fighting against the current, and instead, we allow ourselves to be carried to where we need to go. In this way, simplicity becomes a powerful tool for creating harmony and balance in our lives. As you move forward, ask yourself, where can I simplify? What in my life can I release, so that I may focus on what truly matters? Remember, the path to power is not through accumulation, but through the quiet act of letting go. The energy of gratitude, finding strength in appreciation. Gratitude is often spoken of as a feeling, a simple act of saying thank you. But what if gratitude was more than just a polite response? What if it held the power to transform your entire life, quietly yet profoundly, without needing any loud declarations? Imagine, if you will, a small seed. It is planted in the soil, watered, and cared for. Over time, the seed begins to grow, reaching toward the sun. It doesn't force its way through the earth, nor does it rush to bloom. It simply accepts its place in the world, quietly, patiently, and with gratitude for the nourishment it receives. In the same way, we are often like this seed. Our growth and inner strength depend not on force or struggle, but on a quiet recognition of the blessings we receive each day. Gratitude, in its purest form, is a practice that invites us to pause and acknowledge the goodness around us, even in the simplest of things. It is easy to be swept up in the busyness of life, to focus on what is missing or what is wrong. But the moment we shift our attention to what is good, to what we already have, we begin to see the world through a different lens. Suddenly, the noise of frustration, comparison, and dissatisfaction quiets. What remains is a peaceful awareness of all that is already here. In the teachings of Buddhism, gratitude is often seen as a cornerstone of a fulfilled life. The Buddha spoke of the importance of being mindful, of living with awareness of the present moment. Gratitude, then, is not something we merely express, it is something we embody. It is a recognition that life itself, with all its imperfections and challenges, is a gift. This mindset allows us to meet each moment with a sense of ease and acceptance. When we are grateful, we stop clinging to what we do not have, and instead, we begin to appreciate what we do have. This shifts our energy from a place of lack to one of abundance. The person who practices gratitude does not look outward for validation or happiness. They turn inward and find peace in the present moment. Gratitude becomes a wellspring from which they draw strength and resilience. Think about how many times you've woken up in the morning and immediately thought of all the things you need to do. It's easy to jump into the rush of the day, to focus on the things that aren't going well or the goals you still haven't achieved. But what would happen if, instead, you began your day with a moment of gratitude? What if you took a deep breath and acknowledged the simple fact that you are alive, that you have the opportunity to experience another day, to walk this earth, to see the sky, to be with the people you love? This simple shift in focus can change the way you move through your day. You may still have your challenges, but you will approach them with a different mindset. Challenges no longer seem like obstacles. They are opportunities for growth. Difficult people are no longer problems. They are teachers, showing you something about yourself that you need to learn. And when things go well, you will not take them for granted, but celebrate them, knowing they are gifts to be appreciated. Gratitude also works on a deeper level, transforming our relationship with ourselves. When we learn to appreciate the small things, we begin to see our own worth more clearly. How often do we criticize ourselves, focus on our shortcomings, or compare ourselves to others? But when we practice gratitude, we stop this cycle of self-judgment. We see ourselves as we truly are, flawed, but whole. We recognize the strengths and qualities that make us who we are, and we learn to love ourselves more deeply. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of mudita, or sympathetic joy, is closely linked with gratitude. Mudita refers to the ability to take joy in the happiness and success of others without jealousy or resentment. When we are genuinely grateful for what we have, we can also be grateful for the success of others. We stop seeing their achievements as something that diminishes our own worth, and instead, we celebrate the fact that the world is full of goodness. We share in that joy, and in doing so, our own lives are enriched. Gratitude, however, is not limited to the good moments. It also has the power to heal our wounds and soften our hearts. When we face difficult times, it is easy to become bitter, angry, or resentful. But if we can find something, anything, to be grateful for, even in the most challenging of situations, we open the door to healing. Perhaps you are facing a difficult relationship or a health struggle. In these moments, gratitude does not mean ignoring the pain, but rather, acknowledging that there is still something worth appreciating. Maybe it's the support of a loved one, or the strength you discover within yourself in the face of adversity. These small moments of gratitude are the seeds of resilience. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to shift our perspective on the world. When we are grateful, we begin to notice things we might have missed. The beauty of nature, the kindness of strangers, the simple comforts of home. These are all things that can be overlooked in the rush of daily life. But when we are present and thankful, we begin to see them as gifts. And as we see more of these gifts, our lives become richer and more fulfilling. In the practice of gratitude, there is also an understanding that we are not alone in this world. We are interconnected with others, and our lives are shaped by the kindness and generosity of those around us. Gratitude helps us recognize this interconnectedness. It reminds us that no matter how isolated we may feel at times, we are always supported by the invisible threads that bind us to each other. This awareness fosters a deep sense of compassion, not only for others but for ourselves as well. As you go about your day, take a moment to notice the small things that often go unnoticed. Perhaps it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of birds singing, or the taste of your morning tea. Each of these moments is a gift, and each one is an opportunity to practice gratitude. When you begin to see life through the lens of gratitude, everything changes. Your sense of power does not come from the things you have or the accomplishments you achieve. It comes from your ability to appreciate and find meaning in the everyday moments that make up your life. And remember, gratitude is a habit. Like any habit, it takes time and practice to cultivate. But as you make it a part of your daily life, you will begin to notice its effects. Your mind will become quieter, your heart more open, and your sense of power more grounded. The world around you may not change, but you will, and that is where true strength lies. So, begin today. Take a moment, right now, to close your eyes and breathe. Think of one thing, no matter how small, that you are grateful for. Hold it in your heart and feel the warmth of that gratitude spreading through you. Let it remind you that you are already powerful, just as you are. Conclusion: embodying silent power in everyday life. Now, we've walked through many habits, and you've learned how small, quiet changes can have a deep impact. You may wonder, what now? How do you carry all these habits with you as you move forward in the midst of your busy life? How do you embody this silent power every single day? It's not about making grand gestures. It's not about changing everything at once. The secret to embodying silent power is in the small moments. It's in the way you breathe, the way you listen, the way you respond. Look at the world around you. Every moment is an opportunity to practice. You don't need to wait for a big event or a perfect moment to begin. Life itself is your practice. For instance, consider how you start your day. Is it in a rush, filled with chaos and noise? Or is it peaceful, with a quiet mind and intentional steps? Silent power begins in the morning. The way you greet the day shapes how the rest of it will unfold. If you rise with awareness, if you rise with gratitude, you are already on the path. As you move through your day, notice your actions. Are they rushed, frantic, driven by fear or urgency? Or are they deliberate and mindful? The habit of slowing down, even for just a few moments, can bring you back to yourself. In those moments, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to perform. You simply are. That's the beauty of silent power. It doesn't require validation or attention. As we've seen, the habit of patience is another powerful tool. When life presents challenges, the ability to remain calm is a true strength. When you feel frustrated or overwhelmed, remember that patience is not about waiting. It's about understanding the process. It's about trusting that things will unfold in their own time. And what about compassion? As you go about your day, make it a habit to be kind. But don't just be kind to others. Be kind to yourself as well. When you make mistakes, when you face setbacks, don't be harsh. Be gentle. Be understanding. This habit of kindness extends not just to others, but to your own mind and heart. Let's think about the concept of detachment for a moment. Detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from the world or from relationships. It means releasing the need to control everything. It means accepting that life will unfold as it does, and you don't have to hold on to every outcome. When you let go, you create space for freedom and peace. Now, let's focus on resilience. Life will test you. It always does. But remember, resilience doesn't mean never falling. It means getting up again and again and again. Every time you rise, you become stronger, more capable, and more grounded in your silent power. Don't fear challenges. Embrace them as opportunities for growth. As you begin to practice these habits, something beautiful happens. You stop seeking approval. You stop needing to impress others. You start to live for yourself. And when that happens, you become truly powerful. Your presence alone will speak volumes, without you having to say a word. Buddhism teaches us that we are all interconnected. Your quiet strength doesn't only benefit you, it benefits those around you. When you live with these habits, you influence your environment. You influence the people around you in subtle, yet powerful ways. And in doing so, you create a ripple effect. You become a source of calm, of wisdom, and of strength for others to draw from. But remember, the power of these habits doesn't come from perfection. It doesn't come from never making mistakes. It comes from consistency, from showing up every day with a commitment to be a little more aware, a little more patient, a little more compassionate. Each day is a chance to deepen your practice. The final piece of this journey is this: living with intention. Every action, every decision, every thought has meaning. When you live with intention, you step into your full power. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding with wisdom, calm, and clarity. This is the embodiment of silent power. And so, as we close this chapter, remember that the path to power is not about loudness or force. It's about quiet strength, subtle yet unshakable. It's about living with awareness, compassion, patience, and resilience. These habits, though simple, are profound in their impact. You now hold the key to a life of silent power. It's yours to step into, moment by moment, habit by habit. Take a deep breath and embrace it. You are capable of so much more than you realize. Thank you for being with us on this journey. Remember, power is not something you find outside of yourself. It's something you cultivate from within. Keep practicing, keep growing, keep embodying the silent power that already exists inside of you. And as we conclude, don't forget to take a moment to appreciate your progress. Every step, no matter how small, is a victory. Celebrate your journey and trust that each day brings you closer to the powerful, peaceful person you are meant to be. Keep walking the path of wisdom and silent strength, and you will see how your life transforms in ways you never imagined. Thank you for being part of Wisdom Woven. If you found value in this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support, and it helps us continue to share more wisdom with you.